Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Fish Lucky, world's luckiest tackle. Thanks for stopping in to watch our video today.
This is an original Red Mann spinnerbait. That's right, I do have a few of them, and it's like 50 years old. In the package, never been used. I was down at an appearance the other day in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Dustin Lucas came up, and he had 3 or 4 of these. One of the things I want you to look at is just take a look at that bait. This is a new Long John model. It's one of the originals. In the original model, sold for $1.25, not $1.50. That's sold for $1.50 right there. And he gave me that bait. But I wanted to show you the new baits, and you can look and see that Lucky Strike has improved the packaging dramatically. Even the back of the packaging looks a lot better. We've got the red, white, and blue packaging. Toby Keith's red, white, and blue. These baits are made right here in America. But let me explain to you what makes this so totally different. It's a retro spinnerbait. But what makes it so totally different than any spinnerbait that you'll ever buy on the market? And I've got the original Lucky Strike that we've been building for about a year. And this is really, really close, as you'll notice, to that original bait. Really, really close. And it had a living rubber skirt. Now, the problem we have with the living rubber skirt, after you catch about 30 or 40 fish on it, you don't have to put a new skirt on it, no doubt about it. So we've improved and gone to the most amazing silicone. You can't tell the difference in that skirt than a living rubber skirt, but it lasts a long time. It's got vibrant colors, and it's got incredible action. It was built to specific way to have incredible action. But I want to go through that spinnerbait and show you what makes this thing special. You see the new packaging, totally different. And also now, they're not $1.50 nowadays, but they're probably $2 or $3 less expensive than any other good spinnerbait on the market. $2 or $3 less expensive. And they're made right here in America. Made over in Fort Smith, Arkansas, a little town Greenwood, right outside of Fort Smith. Made by Americans right here in America. These aren't sailing across the shiny sea. Made right here in America. But let me take one of the new baits. This is how we've updated this bait for this year to make it a retro bait that is totally modern. Absolutely the best stuff in the world on it. And I will start right up here with the bin. The one thing that makes a Red Mann exclusive and perfect is it's got the wrap bin, or we call it a safety pin bin. This is how we built spinner baits back when I was in high school. We'd buy diaper safety pins that had that wrap already in them. And the end that had the little clamp that you clamp into when you put diapers. They had real diapers for babies back in those days. And you clamp with a safety pin, we'd cut that off, and we'd put it in jig head mold and put a jig on it and a hook on it. We'd start the pointed end, we'd cut that off and put this blade assembly on it. That's the way we built them. Safety pin spinnerbaits. The advantage to this right here is that it will last and last and last. If you buy a really good spinnerbait nowadays, after you catch 20 or 30 fish, it's liable to break on you. The good ones will do that. I mean, they're not designed to break, but in order to get the vibration out of them, with the R bend or the U bend, that's how you have to make them. So it doesn't take long till you break them. You can catch 100, 200 fish on this bait and it won't break. You might have to go through another skirt or two on there. Might have all your paint knocked off of the head, but you'll still catch them. 100, 200 fish and it won't break. The short arm, we go in this little short arm. You notice how this arm is totally different? It's sitting right over the top of the head. The short arm does 2 things. One is it creates a tremendous amount of vibration. The longer you make this arm, the less vibration you're going to create. No matter what size blade you're on here, the shorter arm gives you more vibration. So when you make the longer arm, and most spinnerbaits have a longer arm on them in order to be a little bit weedless when you're out there fishing, so it won't get hung up quite as bad. That long arm dampens vibration, plus it blocks the fish from being able to get to the hook. You want that bass to be having open area where he can get to that hook. The long arm blocks that off a lot. You'll still catch a lot of fish with a long arm spinnerbait, no doubt about that. But you will have more fish per strike using a short arm. You'll have more vibration. So that's the reason for that. When you move into the swivel, you'll notice immediately that we do not have a ball bearing swivel. That's there for a reason. Originally, I probably put a crane swivel on because I don't even know if they made ball bearing swivels back then. If they did, I couldn't afford them. So we put a crane swivel on there. A crane swivel. Now, a crane swivel doesn't turn nearly as smooth as ball bearing. But that's what you want. You want that blade to work. When that blade works, it creates more vibration. You put a ball bearing swivel on this exact same Red Mann spinnerbait and you dampen your vibration. Vibration, I believe, is the most important thing in spinnerbait fishing. It's very, very important the majority of the time, especially if you're fishing it in a little bit of dingy water or muddy water. Vibration. And so that crane swivel causes more vibration. Also, we have a little bit larger split ring on than normal. And the split ring also does the exact same thing. It causes that blade to have to work, turning that big split ring around, and it causes more vibration. You get down to the blade, all the Red Mann spinnerbaits that we made, the original, all had one single Colorado blade on them. The ones we do for Lucky Strike right now have one single Colorado blade on them. Now, we may come out with a tandem on it. We may come out with a Long John model. It's got a little bit longer arm on it. You can fish in real heavy brush and be almost impossible to hang up. But all of our original Red Mann spinnerbaits had one single Colorado or round blade. Round blades, again, give you more vibration. You can move to a larger size, you can put a willow leaf on there, you can do whatever you want. You move to bigger sizes, round blades, you're going to get more vibration. All right, let's just keep going on around. Let's go around, back around this way where we are, the head of a spinnerbait. You see the bug eyes on there? That balances that spinnerbait where you can actually throw this out, bring it in pretty fast, and it's not going to roll over, lay over on the side, or rotate around like a lot of spinnerbaits will do, because the head is perfectly balanced, perfectly balanced. This is a 3/8 ounce head is what the size is. The entire bait, if you put the whole bait on the scale, it weighs a ½ ounce. What does that mean? That means it throws like a bullet. It throws like a bullet. Fishing on windy days, it just throws perfectly. Extremely accurate spinnerbait, extremely accurate. Now, we've modernized the eyes because the two colors that bass can see best in most shallow water applications are red and blue. And so I want red on every bait that I ever make. And we originally made the Red Mann spinnerbait, had all red heads. That's it. Red head was the only color we have. Well, now we have all the modern, beautiful looking heads. We've got a little fluorescent orange on the throat right there, but we got red eyes. The same red eyes that we put in a lot of our crankbaits, like the Lucky Strike American Original, All-American Rattler, or the Deep Smoothie. And this was very difficult to do with this bait, but we put holographic red eyes in there. These beautiful, beautiful eyes. They're holographic. They're just absolutely outstanding. And the head, perfectly balanced. You pull it fast, it's going to run great. Now we move back here to the skirt. Now this skirt, when you feel of it and you touch it, and the first time I ever saw this skirt, I said, how do you make a rubber skirt that feels that way? And they said, actually, it's silicone. But it's a new high-grade silicone. And so we had one designed specifically for the Red Mann spinnerbait. One, it's got wide strips on the tail and narrow strips, both. The rubber in here is two different sizes. Narrow, that have square tails, wide, that have tapered tails, those tapered tails. You throw this in the water, the action is incredible to it. The action is incredible. Plus the fact that this skirt will last a long time. It'll hold its color. You go back to the original, like I've got right here. This bait right here has caught probably 100 fish. Probably caught 100 fish. I caught a lot of 3 and 4 pound smallmouth on it a couple of weeks ago up in Lake Michigan. And this skirt right here, you can see that this skirt is had a lot of tails missing already. You have to straighten it out. This skirt right here will dry perfectly. You can catch a lot more fish per skirt. You're not going to have to, you're probably going to wear the skirt out before you wear the bait out. So you probably want to buy some extra Red Mann skirts. But that skirt, a beautiful new ultra modern skirt, but does all the same things that the original living rubber skirt did. Absolutely perfect. And then you get down to the last thing, and a really important thing, where you're going to hang a big bass on the end of it, the hook. Again, a specifically designed hook that is long. You see how long this hook is? The eye of this hook is clear up here. That's an elongated hook, which they don't put in many spinnerbaits. Elongated hook, and what it does again is it puts that hook back there where the bass has got an area where he can get to that and get hooked. So per strike, you're going to hook up way more bass on a Red Mann than you are anybody else's spinnerbait. Even our Jimmy Houston Legend model spinnerbait that we make at Lucky Strike, you're still going to have better hookups on this bait than you will that bait, and certainly everybody else's. The elongated hook, it actually allows a lot of people to get as many hookup as you would just about if you used a trailer hook, but you don't have to use a trailer hook. And now that I don't fish tournaments, I don't use trailer hooks anymore. And I still miss very, very few fish. And I fish barbless most of the time. I take and smash that barb down, and I still lose very few fish on it. So the elongated hook, super sharp hook, stainless steel wire, a bait made to catch not 4 or 5 fish, or 8 or 10 fish, or even 30 or 40 fish. That bait right there, if you're a good enough fisherman, you'll catch 100 fish on that bait, and you'll still be fishing with it. Guys and girls, a Red Mann spinnerbait. Absolutely the best spinnerbait ever made.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff Williams. The Toby Keith family and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch the latest Fish Lucky World's Luckiest Tackle video. Thanks, and good luck out there.